a live video. Make sure you guys share the live, share this video because we definitely got to get into this one. Diddy is sick and he could be dying at any given moment, and he won't leave his cell. And I want to share this with you guys because his health, I always said in my last videos, his health is a big key. But I want to share that it's it's getting worse, and people are saying that they don't know how long he will stand going into his trial. I remember what Jaguar Wright was saying that Diddy was living with HIV, and that's a serious statement that Jaguar Wright said it live, and these exclusive allegations that she made with Diddy's supposed to have been living with HIV. Now, we definitely got a lot to talk about, and a lot of people is coming out saying, Diddy might not stand trial. So, before I roll the video, make sure you guys share this video. You know, because we got to dive straight into this. What people feel about Diddy and his situation. He refused to leave the cell, so you know, let's roll this clip. Let's get this thing started. Let's see what everyone have to say here.
For these witnesses. It seems the tables have turned for music mogul Sean Diddy Combs, who's now facing more than just legal trouble. After being taken into custody, shocking reports have emerged that Diddy may have contracted a severe illness while behind bars.
It's tragic, but he better be watching his ass literally in prison, because those type of stories, he probably doesn't want to. He probably doesn't want to.
Allegedly, insiders claim that the unsanitary conditions of his holding environment, coupled with his alleged pre-existing health concerns, could have made him an easy target for a fast-spreading infection.
His life, his safety is in jeopardy, and any...
What's going on, you guys? Thank you guys for tuning in. We got to talk about this one. His health can be in jeopardy. A lot of people is coming out with Diddy's his health and his health he had that he won't leave the cell. And what Jaguar Wright is saying that she was 100% right that Diddy's living with HIV and he won't leave his cell. He won't eat. And this is the biggest issue because they won't transfer Diddy. So with that being said, I'm quite sure Diddy was requesting for a transfer, regarding his diet, his nutrition, things like that. And, when you in a metropolitan Manhattan, detention center where they got, you got NBC, excuse me, there, and you're on suicide watch, and this is a tough situation for Diddy and his lawyer team, because they can't do nothing, and you see Diddy went to court and they deny every request for his bail hearing, so too much they can't do at this point. So want to roll the footage. Thank you guys for tuning in. Make sure you guys share the live and like the live. Let's play this footage here.
correctional lockup right now. If it is true, as reported, that he is housed in the special housing unit, it's important to note that a special housing unit is a lockdown, 24-hour lockdown unit.
While authorities have remained tight-lipped about the exact details, whispers from those close to the situation are raising serious alarms. Could this be the wake-up call Diddy never anticipated?
He's allegedly refusing to leave his jail cell at the moment to avoid SA lawsuit.
With his doomed reputation and connections now powerless to protect him from the realities of jail life, the stakes couldn't be higher. Fans and critics alike are waiting to see how this shocking twist unfolds in the ongoing saga of Diddy's dramatic downfall. Sean Combs, the music mogul who turned luxury into his personal brand, now finds himself in a starkly different reality. The MDC detention center in New York, where he's awaiting trial, is worlds apart from the opulence he's known for. And let's be honest, this isn't a reality show, and there's no glamour in being stuck in a cell over the holidays.
The MDC is, I've used the word austere a lot, but it is. It's austere, it's strict, it's impersonal, it's cold, and it is a very tough place to be detained.
While fans are used to seeing Diddy dripping in diamonds, throwing extravagant parties, or lounging on private yachts, his current accommodations are less than 5-star.
Let me stop this. You know, Diddy is losing massive weight. His hair is thinning. They said he got thinner, and he's not looking too good, and I want to share this with Jab said that she's saying that he's living with HIV, and if you're in the jail cell and you're living with that, diagnosed with HIV, it's a serious health issue, especially when he's not eating, he's refusing to eat. It's a serious health issue he's dealing with. And I just want to say to you guys, we all at some point will want to wish him well and things like that. But he's in a situation where you see that they're not gonna too much care about his health issue and things, and he's asking for a nutrition diet, and I don't know how I don't know how it's going with his commissary and who's bringing money on his books for his commissary and things like that. So when it comes to all this, you guys, it's just one problem after another, and his problems in there. He's refusing to leave out from his cell. It's sad, which leads to one thing that I'm thinking Diddy is sick. I don't think you guys probably know his status. I think he's sick. Because when you and I are eating, and if you living, if it's true that what Jazz saying, you living with HIV and you're not eating, that right there can raise a lot of suspicions. It says a lot. So I know we all want him to recover, stand trial, and hopefully, at the same time, he'll get a fair trial coming in this RICO indictment. It's a lot, man. You can imagine it's a lot what he's going through, right now, so, I know we all, we all want to hear the guilty verdict. A lot of us would be like, free Diddy and things. And look, man, it's like he's at a bad position in his life, man, to, be behind these bars and knowing that, you don't get no kind of privilege. And this simple fact is who you are. And it don't matter. All that goes out the window. He been this icon, been his greatest icon, been his greatest magician. People don't recognize you, as a magician when you, once you hit the jail. It's like people got a reputation, man, inside the jail, man. If you're a celebrity and if you're something that was important, it's bad that people have reputation to get at you. You know what I mean? To harm you, to kill you. You know, because you got to keep in mind, man, why he's not eating the food, man. Because you had coercion, you had all these things. Diddy was allegedly involved in and accused in, and raised a lot of questions why he's not eating. You know, it's sad because he refusing to eat, and always says, it's important, treat others as you would want to be treated, do to others as you would want them to do to you. You know, but right now, he's not eating, and and you see the tables is turning, and it's just no good comes from what I mean, from what you do in the industry. I always told you guys, man, you know, when you get a list of black celebrities and our black culture, it's just designed for failure at the end of the day. You know what I mean? No matter how much money you worth, no matter how much endorsement you had. And I always said that when you up in this industry and every eye is on you, you got to be very cautious of what you do. You know, I know Diddy at the time of his life, man, he was this. You know what I mean? You think he was just doing good until the end. You know what I mean? You seeing a lot of things that happened, a lot of things that came. And I tell you something. That fame and fortune, you're not happy at the end of the day. Listen to me. Because if you serving that fame and fortune, at the end of the day, the money becomes the root of all evil. Because the love of money becomes the root of all evil. And those that are eager for it, they will go, and warn themselves with many harmful lusts and pierce themselves with many sorrows. For the love of money, you see, is a root of all evil, and those people are destined and they have a willing to do whatever it takes for it. You have brothers against brothers, and you have all this killing. You have the greed, you have the envy. The more money you make, the more problems you have.
MDC, infamous for its harsh living conditions, has been described by prison experts as a grueling experience. It's plastic, and it's almost like a big pillow, but over the years it has shrunk. It's a bunch of crap that probably was purchased because it was out of date, because the prison system sells you out-of-date stuff, and they're trying to act like they're doing the inmates a favor. These were the words prison expert Larry Levine said about the so-called holiday sack inmates received. And no, there's no caviar or champagne in sight. Just stale, out-of-date commissary items.
He will be locked in the cell 23 hours a day with 1 hour recreation in a fenced-in area where I would certainly expect for him to be recreating alone.
The food situation alone is bleak, with rumors swirling that Diddy may have been skipping meals entirely. Why? Well, some suggest paranoia about being poisoned. An insider spilled the beans saying he gets a lot of people in trouble. People want to eliminate him. So what if somebody on the outside knew someone that had a relative that worked in the prison and they put something in his food, a little bit at a time?
See, look, man, I'm gonna say it like this, fam. Once you label as a sex offender, predator, see, this is what they label you as. That don't fly in prison today, man. With Diddy involved in, when he's accused in, man, he's afraid this might happen to him. that he just might die in there. This is why it's raised suspicion to Diddy's life in there, man. When you gotta live, when you gotta take prison day by day, man. You wake up the next day, ain't nothing promised, man. People can riot at any time, man. When I was locked up, I took it day by day. People working out people's coup at one point. Then at any given second, tensions can run high when you're in there. At any given point, it's like you can't take your guard off, because tensions will flare up, man. Tensions can run very high, very high. Now, do I think at some point Diddy will kill himself, will harm himself? There's no telling, man. There's no telling. If he was at camp or something where he can do his time, then it'd be different. But when you in there, man, you got to take it you got to take it day out of day, day by day. You got to take it, because if you can't take it in there, if you can't be strong in there, man, then you can fold easy. You can fold easy. And when Diddy, living day by day, this thing you taking it day by day, and you got a life sentence, you got a life hanging over your head. You gotta take it. You gotta take it day by day, man. Else you gonna fold. This is why I don't think Diddy gonna last in there, man. Not just that. Look at his age, man. Look at his age. When the age tells a lot. Look at his age, and then look at his health. The people saying here, they saying he's giving up. I don't know if y'all noticed. Excuse me for a second. I don't know if you guys noticed. They said the people saying that he's giving up in there. It says he got a lot of people in trouble. People want to eliminate him, so that what somebody on the outside knew someone that had a relative that worked in a prison, and they put something in his food a little bit at a time, then he can get contaminated, whatever it is. And it's early checkout for Mr. Puff Daddy. They eliminate him. That's another reason, another theory as to why he wasn't eating. He was afraid the food was contaminated. I would be afraid too, man. I would be afraid if I had a price on my head, man. If I was doing people wrong, if I was cohorting people, putting things in people's drinks, and I thought the same that would happen to me, I would think the same way. I would think the same way, fam.
Then he gets contaminated, whatever it is, and it's early checkout for Mr. Puff Daddy. They eliminate him. That's another reason, another theory, as to why he wasn't eating. He was afraid the food was contaminated. Imagine having to worry that every bite could be your last. Not because of luxury calories, but because someone might be literally trying to take you out. If the conditions weren't bad enough, whispers about Diddy's health are adding fuel to the fire. Sources claim he's battling an illness, with some suggesting it's not being properly treated in the facility. Others hint at something more salacious, even S in nature. Whatever the truth may be, one thing is clear. The MDC isn't equipped to provide the kind of high-end health care Diddy is used to. With his reportedly astonishingly thinner appearance during his last court appearance, it's hard not to speculate. Is it the stress, the food, the illness, or all of the above? Diddy has officially hit rock bottom over the holidays. According to reports, he suffered a full-blown meltdown at MDC.
It's a fullness he's dealing with. It's the illness he has. It's an illness that he been diagnosed with, HIV and AIDS. I want you guys to understand. Living with HIV, you can live long. But if you ain't healthy, and if you're in a confinement place and you're not healthy, that's a different story. Yeah, you see people live with AIDS. Yes, they live for a very long period of time. Yes, especially when you're out, when you got resources and you can get the proper medication, proper treatment. But if you're in the like in confinement place, solitary confinement place, you cannot get the treatment as the average person is getting, man. If you living with HIV and AIDS, if you're not eating, first of all, like Diddy, and you're not getting the proper nutrition, of course, it's gonna allow you to get sick. It's just some prisons is worse than other prisons because of the, you know what I mean, because of the quality of the air, the condition, and things like that, man. When I got locked up in High Desert, man, you know what I mean, it was nice, hot, summers out. Diddy in his situation, man, he's locked in Manhattan Metropolitan Center, where it's cold, you know what I mean, and it's you know what I mean. There's prisons worse than the next prison. Don't get it messed up, man. Diddy with his situation in there, man, he's not getting better. He's not trusting the food. He don't want to eat. I don't know who's bringing in commissary for him, who's putting money in his books, and if he's allowed to have commissary. That's the other day. That's a few days. You know what I mean? His cell. You know what I mean? His cell was raided. They raided his cell, man. They came across letters, threatening letters, and things like that. I think Diddy's putting his burden on himself, man. He's putting a lot of weight on himself before awaiting trial. And it's not going to look good when Diddy do that. He definitely being involved in some heavy allegations, man. And not to say that, Mr. Davis is awaiting trial in Nevada, man, in the 96 death of Tupac, and he's spilling the beans on Diddy, saying Diddy was the mastermind. Diddy was the Hitler. And so you see Jay-Z lawyer, man, Alex, Alex Spiro, is picking up that case. So you looking and seeing that nothing is happening, for Diddy right now. Nothing good's coming in Diddy's case, man. Because he's going to be slapped with an additional charge of the 96 death of Tupac. It's getting real, man. It's getting real. Let's play this and see what they have to say here, man. Because everything is collapsing down on Diddy right now, man.
Unable to believe he was still stuck there months after his arrest, despite his high-powered legal team. The holidays, usually a time of celebration for him, turned into a nightmare as he grappled with the reality of his situation. An insider revealed that spending holidays in jail seems to have pushed Diddy over the edge. With his high-powered legal team, Diddy thought he'd be out on bail by now. Spending the holidays behind bars was a nightmare for him. He eventually managed to calm himself down with the meditation technique he's been using while he's been behind bars. It took him a few hours of deep breathing and focusing to get out of the bad space he was in, but he finally managed it. Combs is reportedly stalling legal proceedings by refusing to leave his jail cell to accept service of multiple lawsuits. The Bad Boy Records founder is currently in custody awaiting trial on ST charges.
He's refusing to leave his cell after he hears, for the first time in life, N.O. jailhouse guards say no to his demands.
Talking about lawsuits, Sean Combs' legal troubles are escalating in ways no one could have predicted. Already mired in a storm of allegations, a fresh lawsuit filed by Michigan inmate Derek Lee Cardello Smith has dragged Diddy back into the spotlight, this time with accusations dating back to 1997. What's more, Jennifer Lopez, Diddy's ex-girlfriend, has been named as a potential witness in this explosive $400 million SA lawsuit. Smith, who is currently...
And let me tell you, man, this guy gonna win his lawsuit because he got a witness, Jennifer Lopez. And you know why I said he gonna win his lawsuit? Because the New York Times had investigated Jennifer Lopez in this sexual case, and she's a star witness to the prosecution of this lawsuit. Now, I'm quite sure Diddy got 3 of these new lawsuits that just came in, man. And to me, if Diddy don't get if he don't get a speedy trial, this can get real ugly for him and his lawyers team. Why you think that they want a speedy trial? Because all this stuff is getting out, man. All this and more, and there's more witnesses, more victims coming forward. You know, when it comes to Tony Buzzy, man, Tony Buzzy did a good job of hiring some good powerhouses that represent Trump back in 2001. This is getting real ugly, man. You see Jay-Z team they're asking to represent, you know what I mean, Tupac, Shakur families. So you see, when it comes to Diddy and his legal team, man, they say he's running out of money because his family gonna have to go deep down in his wallet, man. But same with Jay-Z, man. Same with Jay-Z, what Tony Buzzy just did, man. They got over 50, I think they got more than 50 witnesses that came forward. They got over 300 people that they subpoenaed. I think the number is growing though. But that's the last time I checked that they had 300 people subpoenaed. They had over 50 witnesses. I think the number is increasing, fam. I think it's increasing because, man, what Tony Buzzy did, man, Tony Buzzy put his money in one basket to get some powerhouse lawyers, man. And Jay-Z better go deep in his pocket, man. He better go deep in his pocket because you got, like I said, Alex Sparrow. He's representing now. He's representing another case now with Diddy being allegedly accused of, man. The 96 Pops murder, man. This is really not looking good. This is not looking good for Diddy and his legal team.
Serving time for unrelated convictions, claims he met Diddy while bartending at a Detroit hotel. According to the lawsuit, Diddy invited him to a private party, where he offered Smith a drink laced with an unknown substance. Smith alleges he blacked out and later woke up to find Diddy engaging in acts with a woman, only to hear the chilling words, "I did this to you."
Hey guys, my name is Harris Heller, and I've been a full-time YouTuber for over 10 years now. And if you are a YouTuber or you're trying to be
You too.
You filed a motion for a temporary restraining order and/or a preliminary injunction to stop all sales of the property and assets attached to or involved with said property.
Adding another layer of intrigue, Smith claims Jennifer Lopez was privy to Diddy's alleged criminal behavior, including his possession of a videotaped essay involving Smith. He alleges that Diddy manipulated Lopez into silence by threatening her career and personal safety. While Jennifer Lopez has never been implicated in any criminal activity tied to Diddy, her name surfacing in court documents has reignited scrutiny of her association with the rapper. Smith contends that Lopez's testimony could expose Diddy's broader pattern of manipulation, exploitation, and alleged criminality.
The government said that they interviewed over 50 witnesses and victims. But there is one name on that celebrity list that...
I told you. What did I say, man? They had interviewed over 50 witnesses, victims, man. And see, the number is going to increase. So why do you think Diddy's and his lawyers team is doing this, trying to do a speedy trial? Man, if you was a billionaire, man, you had that much influence that people over 30 years was afraid to, to testify. Just think about how much power Diddy had, man. I mean, this man hold the keys to Hollywood. He hold the keys to LA, man. He hold the keys to Brooklyn. He hold the keys to Miami, man. 30 years. 30 whole years they've been getting away. You hear what he said, that they got over 50 victims, witnesses. Tony Buzzy subpoenaed 300 witnesses, man. And look, at some point, people coming forward.
is standing out in particular right now. Jennifer Lopez.
Lopez's representatives have yet to comment on the allegations, and it remains unclear whether she will be compelled to testify. However, this isn't the first time her relationship with Diddy has come under the microscope. The infamous 1999 nightclub shooting. Though ultimately clearing Lopez of any wrongdoing, it still lingers as a controversial chapter in her career. Diddy's legal team has fiercely denied the allegations, labeling Smith a serial fabricator with a history of concocting wild stories for personal gain. They are working aggressively to have the case dismissed, arguing that Smith's claims lack substance and are rooted in a vendetta against the rapper. This is a frivolous lawsuit against a prominent businessman based on obvious fabrications, filed by a convicted rapist and serial litigant with an overactive imagination and a thirst for fame. The A allegedly occurred in June 1997. Any claim Derek Lee might have had expired in June 2000, more than 2 decades before he commenced this litigation. For this reason alone, the court should dismiss the complaint in its entirety with prejudice. The legal drama surrounding Sean Combs continues to spiral, with his defense team now leaning heavily on the controversial freak-off tapes to clear his name. Collected by law enforcement, these tapes allegedly capture the music mogul's infamous parties, which prosecutors claim were fronts for elaborate ST&A. But Diddy's lawyers insist these tapes tell a very different story. According to them, the footage proves that the activities were consensual and entirely legal. They argue that the tapes showcase private moments between consenting adults.
Okay, let me say this to you guys, man. If all these tapes that Cassidy said that she had 9 tapes that was all consensual, why is Diddy concerned that he won't eat his food? If he's so innocent, right? Why there's a need, a worry, why he's not eating in there? Why he's not eating the food? If they charging him with coercion, right? Then why he's not eating? Because those drinks that people had took, those drinks that people was drinking, and then when they was drinking the drinks, that you seen how they oozy they were. It had a spike, and they were feeling ooze. Imagine you going to these white parties. And you've been given a drink and someone spiced it. And next thing you know, within a minute or two, you feeling oozy. You're not really. You come to a point where you're not really in your state of mind. And when you're not in your state of mind, you can't think for yourself. You're knocked out. You're knocked out by a drug that's powerful. That can lead you to, you know what I mean, consciousness. You're unconscious. You drugged and all of a sudden you rape.
Refuting claims of coercion, teeing, or violence. The allegations, however, paint a far darker picture. Federal prosecutors describe Diddy's freak-offs as orchestrated and exploitative, involving days-long sessions with commercial workers and elaborate performances, some of which allegedly cross state lines. Well, it doesn't really matter at this point, because this deny defense is not really helping Diddy at all.
There were going to be a lot of other women as well, and men. And I think the volume is going to be very difficult for him to overcome.
At the center of this firestorm is Diddy's ex-girlfriend Cassie, identified as Victim 1 in court documents. Although she settled a multi-million-dollar lawsuit against him in 2023, accusing him of A and R, her name now resurfaces as pivotal evidence. Diddy's legal team claims Cassie voluntarily kept the tapes and provided them to law enforcement, framing her as a cooperative party rather than a victim.
The main star witness for the prosecution is Cassie, his ex-girlfriend, who he beat horribly at the Century Plaza Hotel.
But Cassie's involvement raises eyebrows. According to prosecutors, the tapes reveal more than just consensual intimacy. The federal indictment alleges these events often involved underage individuals and secret recordings, charges Diddy's team fiercely denies. There are no secret cameras, no orgies, no other celebrities involved, no underground tunnels, no minors, and not so much as a hint of coercion or violence. According to the documents, there is certainly no evidence of ST. Prosecutors argue that Diddy wielded his business empire as a tool for exploitation, leveraging power, wealth, and connections to orchestrate a pattern of A. Yet his lawyers remain adamant that these tapes show no minors, no coercion, and no signs of T. Clearly, this is a rehearsed response because many experts predicted it earlier on.
One of the things that's very clear is that they're going to argue that a lot of this was consensual. They're going to argue that the freak-offs were consensual, that the use was consensual.
As the legal battle rages on, Peacock's new documentary, Diddy, The Making of a Bad Boy, premieres, shedding light on the mogul's troubled upbringing. Childhood friend Tim Dog Patterson reveals disturbing details of the environment Diddy grew up in. Weekend parties filled with D's, alcohol, and adults engaged in explicit acts.
Yeah, his environment, man. Look, man. His environment, you know, you can tell. Diddy didn't have a good life growing up. He lost his dad in Harlem. Dad was a drug dealer. See, all this you and me, a child had to witness and see. You know what I mean? His mom was, you know what I mean, a drug dealer, man. You know what I mean? Diddy, at 6 years old, he was molested. You know, and, you know, his mom threw the wildest freak parties. This is true. This is why now Diddy want to blame his mom for his downfall. But when you had mans and these freak offs, women and gays and lesbians and all this that was happening, drugs. See, all this played a part of Diddy's life. All this played a role of his life, man. Partying. You know what I mean? And we can't deny that Diddy was the life of the party. Diddy was the life of the party. Ain't no party like a Diddy's party. Every last one of these people you see on the screen, every last one of them went to these white parties. They went again, they went again, they went again. They saw what they saw. There's more allegation to come. I always say to this man, day, man, every man have his day. Every dog have his day. Man reap what he sowed. A man reap what he sold.
Patterson claimed, on the weekend, Combs partied in the house, and we did that a lot. He was around all types of alcohol. He was around reefer smoke, D addicts around, lesbians around, homos. He was around pimps, pushers. That was just who was in our house. People that attended the parties were from Harlem, from the streets. You'd walk into a room and you'd see couples butt naked. It was desensitizing, but it was just Saturday night. The documentary doesn't hold back, with former associates hinting at a pattern of behavior that allegedly began in Diddy's youth and carried into his adulthood. One chilling claim even suggests Diddy's parties involved underage girls.
You see that? You see that? This party invite underage girls because what his mama was. Diddy was molested at 6, and his mama do all these freak offs, gays, lesbians, alcohol, drugs, pimps, hustlers. All this she do. All this a young boy pick up. All this I want to tell you guys, a young boy pick up.
House, and we did that a lot. He was around all types of alcohol. He was around reefer smoke, D addicts around, lesbians around, homos. He was around pimps, pushers. That was just who was in our house. People that attended the parties were from Harlem, from the streets. You'd walk into a room and you'd see couples butt naked. It was desensitizing, but it was just Saturday night. The documentary doesn't hold back, with former associates hinting at a pattern of behavior that allegedly began in Diddy's youth and carried into his adulthood. One chilling claim even suggests Diddy's parties involved underage girls being escorted into private rooms. I've been with Sean for quite a while, he said, and I've captured a lot of moments. Anytime a studio or any room is red, he's making love and S. Some of the girls who were in the room for sure, they were underage. Diddy's legal team continues to push the narrative that he's a victim of a smear campaign, emphasizing that the tapes prove consensual behavior rather than criminal activity. Yet the mounting allegations, combined with the explosive revelations in the Peacock documentary, paint a deeply complicated and controversial picture.
Am I gonna get in trouble? I don't want to say I witnessed any of that crazy stuff, but we all have common sense. Little people that's not supposed to be there.
You're talking about underage people.
It's a shame.
Will these tapes vindicate Diddy, or will they become the smoking gun that brings his empire crashing down? As the trial looms, one thing is certain. This case will be anything but straightforward. Sean Combs, once revered as a kingpin of music and nightlife, now stands at the center of a storm that could shake Hollywood to its core. Yet a deafening silence cloaks the celebrity world, a silence that speaks volumes.
The silence is deafening, especially from long time.
Man, what happened, man? What happened when Diddy made that call on that man? Pete to play. Burn the pizza. Right? That job that happened inside that phone call. Don't think that the feds didn't get anything that Diddy made from inside. Burn the pizza. Them people over there lost their homes, man. They ain't got nothing to go back to, man. Remember they went in there and raided his cell, found letters. You know, you can't make this stuff up, man. I'm quite sure the feds got this. If they ain't got this, they should be watching these videos, these YouTube videos we make. Just want you guys to read between the lines, man. I believe what they say, man. He's a monster. They even have a monster out. You don't think he will continue? You won't think he will continue to be the man they say he is. You guys don't think he won't be the man that they claiming that he is.
Associates of Diddy.
From former girlfriend Jennifer Lopez to close friends like Ashton Kutcher, Jay-Z, and Naomi Campbell, not one of Diddy's high-profile connections has dared to denounce him publicly. Even Leonardo DiCaprio, known for frequenting Diddy's infamous parties, and the Kardashians, fixtures in Hollywood's social elite, have stayed eerily quiet. Justin Bieber, Diddy's mentee, who spent formative years under his influence, has also remained tight-lipped, as has an overwhelming majority of the music and entertainment industry.
There are a lot of people in Hollywood who are probably worried about which Diddy parties they were at and what was going on.
Why? The answers lie in fear, deep, consuming fear.
If you're at that party and it turns out that that's when he set up one of these freak-off parties, or that it was going on in another room and you didn't know about it, there's a good chance that you're going to be called by the U.S. attorneys.
As accusations against Diddy mount, with claims ranging from SA to racketeering and ST, experts reveal that many stars are terrified of being implicated by association. According to Eric Schiffer, CEO of Reputation Management Consultants, this silence isn't just caution, it's self-preservation. Celebrities are silent because
goodbye blood pressure meds. I'm throwing them all away. Why? Because after hearing Dr. Livingood, I don't need them.
Because they're scared to death of their brands bleeding out with fans over.
So it says the celebrities are silenced because they are scared to death of their brand bleeding out with fans over ties to Diddy. But worse, they fear if they cross him, things could end in disaster, man. It's true. A lot of people got, endorsements. A lot of people got a lot of things going for them, man. And, you can imagine, man, who was all at these freak-offs, at these white parties Diddy threw, and, Yeah, when you get every, rewards, like, for instance, the Golden Globe rewards. I'm quite sure, if Diddy wasn't in jail, he would have threw it at the party. You got the red carpet. You got, It says the celebrities are silenced because they are scared to death of their brand bleeding out with fans over ties to Diddy. Over ties to Diddy. And worse, they fear if they cross them, things can end in disaster. Things can end very fast, man. You could imagine those that was tenants, those that was there at these parties. That was at these freak-offs and they stood there and watched as attendants. Just imagine how many people was here at Diddy's parties, man. Parties he threw in Miami. Parties he threw in Los Angeles. Come on, let's think about how many tenants was at these parties, man. How many people was there at these parties, man? At these freak-offs.
Ties to Diddy, Schiffer explained. And worse, they fear if they cross him, things could end in disaster. The severity of the charges, detailed allegations in the federal indictment, and the long-standing whispers about Diddy's behavior have left even Hollywood's boldest personalities unwilling to risk their careers or safety. Doug Elridge, founder of Achilles PR, suggests that the roots of his silence run deep. Diddy's famed parties, described as opulent and extravagant.
Everybody that was the attendants, man, they have this reputation. They don't want to lose that. They don't want, it's bleeding, man. People don't want to take and be sides to Diddy, man. The whole Hollywood silence. What will happen next? It's like this man almost have to just spill the beans, man. And offer him life, he's not taking. He's going all the way, man.
Extravagant were also the stuff of dark rumors. Frequented by A-listers, they become a symbol of excess and controversy. But with Diddy's recent arrest and the shocking accusations tied to these gatherings, those who once mingled under his roof are now desperate to separate themselves from him. For celebrities, the stakes couldn't be higher. Any misstep, an ill-timed statement, a connection unearthed could tie them to allegations dating back to the early 2000s. And with Diddy's reputation for wielding influence and power to evade consequences, the risks are all too real. Rodney, Lil Rod Jones, who worked with Diddy on the Love album, painted a chilling picture of the mogul's influence. After filing a $30 million lawsuit against Diddy for alleged essay and threats, Jones broke his silence in Rolling Stone. He told me himself, "I'll smack my mama. Anybody who can say that even jokingly is a monster," Jones revealed. For someone whose brand is Love Records, he doesn't show love, he's nothing to be played with. This fear of retaliation, coupled with Diddy's history of controlling narratives, has left Hollywood's elite frozen in place. The question isn't just what Diddy might do, it's what they might risk revealing about themselves if they speak out. As Diddy's legal battles unfold, his former allies remain conspicuously absent from the conversation. Their silence may protect their brands for now, but it also raises a damning question. What secrets are they so desperate to keep hidden? For Hollywood,
Look, man, it's a lot of revealing secrets, man. A lot of people's careers is in jeopardy, man. People afraid to speak out, man. They think about the other half, man. Think about it's already 50 victims already came forward. It's 300 Tony Buzzy subpoenas. You know, a lot of people don't want to, lose out their brand, their endorsements, their reputation. You know, you got to read between the lines. Diddy owns a lot of people, man. Owns a lot of people, man. You know what I mean? And you see what they saying. They don't want to lose their brand, man. They don't want to lose their reputation, man. So they don't want to be involved with this. Just think about you got the other half. You got the other half that they got a brand. They got this. You know what I mean? They got kids. They got a wife. They got a family. They don't want to lose what they got. They're not even taking a gamble. Just think about it, man. Think about how serious this is, man. Some of them got lives. Hear what they saying to them. Because they know what goes on in these freak off parties. Now y'all gotta listen what they saying here, man, because these people didn't want to be involved with anything that Diddy's being allegedly accused of, man. I'm telling you, Diddy own like half of these people. People's careers in jeopardy, man. People got daily lives, man. They got a brand, you know what I mean, and they still holding on to everything they have, man. They refuse to just, you know what I mean, be a witness. You know.
Rodney, Lil Rod Jones, who worked with Diddy on the Love album, painted a chilling picture of the mogul's influence. After filing a $30 million lawsuit against Diddy for alleged essay and threats, Jones broke his silence in Rolling Stone. He told me himself, "I'll smack my mama. Anybody who can say that even jokingly is a monster," Jones revealed. For someone whose brand is Love Records, he doesn't show love, he's nothing to be played with. This fear of retaliation, coupled with Diddy's history of controlling narratives, has left Hollywood's elite frozen in place. The question isn't just what Diddy might do, it's what they might risk revealing about themselves if they speak out. As Diddy's legal battles unfold, his former allies remain conspicuously absent from the conversation. Their silence may protect their brands for now, but it also raises a damning question. What secrets are they so desperate to keep hidden? For Hollywood, the silence isn't just complicity, it's survival. And for Diddy, it's the last fragile thread of a reputation hanging by a thread. Sean Diddy Combs is staring down the barrel of a legal nightmare that could ensure he never sets foot outside a prison cell again. The disgraced hip-hop mogul faces a string of federal charges so severe that conviction would almost certainly see him spend the rest of his life behind bars. Diddy has been hit with one count of racketeering conspiracy, which alone carries the possibility of life imprisonment. Adding to his legal woes, he's also charged with one count of ST by force, fraud, or coercion, a crime with a mandatory minimum sentence of 15 years and a maximum of life in prison. If that weren't damning enough, the transportation for purposes of P charge tacks on another potential 10 years. According to CNN legal analyst and former prosecutor Ellie Honig, the ST by force, fraud, or coercion charge is the most critical. Described as an extraordinarily serious charge, Honig pointed out that because this is a federal case, not a state prosecution, the penalties and potential sentences are significantly harsher. To make matters worse for Combs, these criminal charges are just one part of the storm brewing against him. In addition to facing life in prison, Diddy is entangled in multiple civil suits from women accusing him of SA. His ex-girlfriend Cassie filed a lawsuit against him of R, which was settled in November 2023, and graphic footage from 2016 surfaced earlier this year, showing him physically A-ing her in a hotel. If convicted on all charges, the music mogul's empire will crumble entirely. And for Sean Combs, the reality is...
Listen, the music mogul, Diddy Combs, Sean Diddy Combs. Look, it's over. People already have that he would spend the rest of his life in prison, man.
Start. The only stage you'll ever see again will be one behind prison walls.
This is 10 times easier than any other dye. Tired of gray hair?
And at the time, she was only 11 years old when she was kidnapped and drugged with jelly beans and flown on a private jet to New York. In that picture, and with the girl on Diddy's lap with the D&G sweater, that's her. She's 11 years old in that picture. They put those clothes on her. They did her makeup.
What if one of the most influential figures in entertainment, a name synonymous with wealth, power, and success, suddenly found himself caught in a high-stakes situation that feels like it belongs in the script of a blockbuster film? Sean Diddy Combs, the mogul who has built an empire from the ground up, now finds himself facing an unimaginable challenge behind the walls of a notorious prison. Charged with serious accusations of racketeering and trafficking, the entertainment world is shaken by the news. But what if the headlines only tell part of the story? What if Diddy's time in jail is far more intense and dangerous than anyone could have ever predicted?
People who have no concept of what going to jail is like, what is it like when you first go in there?
The first couple of days are heartbreaking because you're taken completely away from family. There's no interaction with anyone except prisoners or the guards, so you have no idea what to expect as far as going through things with the prisoner or the guards, because it can go either way when you first walk through those prison gates. So it's really, even for the toughest person in the world, it's scary because you just don't know what to expect.
Do you have all of your belongings taken away?
Everything, and I went in with extension braids in my hair. They made me sit in the cell and take every braid out of my hair before I was let into population.
I mean, for somebody like who's a billionaire beforehand, somebody like Diddy, it must be completely shocking.
It's actually, I don't think that that MDC is for any human being at all. I mean, I'm not saying that no one belongs, you know.
She said NBC, man. NBC is like a jail. You know, nobody want to go to, man. Diddy's doing real hard time, man. He actually get transferred. They're not buying. These people not buying it. They're not for them. You know, because that's you know they don't want to do extra. You know what I mean? To send him somewhere, then they have to bring him back. Nobody want to be in the NBC. Listen what they say, man. I gotta roll this to you guys. Let's listen what she's saying, man.
I don't think anyone should be in that particular jail.
There are lots of different people inside that jail. We know that there's a wing that houses high-profile prisoners. R. Kelly, Ghislaine Maxwell, now P. Diddy's in there. Are you aware of the high-profile prisoners? Do you have any interaction with them?
I don't have any, and we never had interaction with high-profile prisoners at all.
And one of the main reasons that a lot of people know about the Metropolitan Detention Center was because it made headlines in 2019. And one of the issues they had was keeping their prison population warm. And it gets extremely cold in Brooklyn.
Well, in 2019, something went wrong. They had a power outage. They didn't have any water. They didn't have any lights. They didn't have any heat. And the mayor tried to the city council tried to bring over blankets, and the warden wouldn't accept it. They were banging. My brother called me from a cell phone that was not supposed to be there. And he cried. He said, listen, I think I'm going to die in here. So I panicked. I said, what the hell?
It all began when Diddy, despite offering an eye-popping $50 million bond, was denied bail. The court deemed him a flight risk, sealing his fate in one of New York City's most infamous detention centers, the Metropolitan Detention Center in Brooklyn. This is the same facility that has housed notorious figures like R. Kelly, Ghislaine Maxwell, and even Jeffrey Epstein before his tragic demise. A place known for its grim conditions, where tales of cockroach infestations, freezing temperatures, and overflowing toilets are just the beginning of the horrors that await.
You see that? You see what you had to go through? See, when I got locked up, I had to go through flooding. Because you got people in there flood cells, and the whole cells be flooding. You have to go through that while you in there. You know what I mean? And see, when you sick and you refuse to leave your cell, it's something deep. It's something deep, y'all. But I tell y'all, man, this is the beginning of the rodeo. You know what I mean? And it's sad. It's sad that it had to come. It's sad that it all had to come. And should no one feel sorry? Should no one feel sorry? Because you should treat others as you want them to treat you. And you know what I mean? I'll be worried if someone put something in my food. Especially if they accuse you of coercion. You know. It's you know what I mean? It's what it is, brothers and my sisters, that, you know, these people just have to, you know what I mean? They have to make their bed. See, and however you make your bed, however you gotta lay in it. You know, it's sad, but I say, should no one feel sorry? Should no one feel sorry, man?
With a prisoner prisoner? Do I have to, call a lawyer or, what can I do? He said, no, I'm going to freeze to death. I said, freeze? He said, yeah, we don't have no water. So I called the news station and made a whole big show. And I went down there and I, had to do something about it, not just for my brother, but for anybody. He was telling me that he thought his roommate was going to die because his feet was turning purple. They didn't give my brother his medication. No gas, no lights, no water, no heat. For almost 2 weeks.
Just take me back to the moment, because I've seen the videos of you outside protesting. It is extremely impactful. You can hear prisoners shouting down from their cells saying, "We are freezing."
I screamed to the inmates. I said, everybody, please be quiet. And they stopped banging. I said, if you are freezing cold, bang on the windows. It was so loud you could hear it from blocks away. It was so loud, and it was, it was heartbreaking, for me to know that, my brother and other people were going through this.
Yeah, and look, I've spoken to your brother, Jason, about this incident.
I'm sorry, you guys. I got to stop that because I'm glad when I got locked up and I was in the high desert state prison in Las Vegas, I didn't have to go through that. When it was hot, we had the air conditioner. They blew. When it's cold, you have the heater that they'll blow. I'm just glad that I didn't have to experience that. What they had to experience where Puff Daddy is. It's cold, and the man ain't eating, and I don't know how long it been without him eating. But man, they say there's some jails worse than others, man. Some prisons worse than other prisons. I believe that. You can get sick, you can die when they don't have these things, man. You're in a cell, it's cold. You ain't got no heater. And certain prisons have it worse than other prisons.
He shared with me some diary entries that he kept from that time. At one point, he wrote, I have socks on my toilet seat so that when I sit down, it will be warm. I mean, these are the sort of lengths that prisoners were going through.
It was horrible because, my brother's a man's man. So to hear him on the phone trembling like, I don't think I'm going to make it here, let me tell you what's going on, that was scary for me. I couldn't imagine, and at that time, it's funny because at that time, the news was, people were going up, picking up stray dogs, taking them off the streets and taking the bums off the trains and off the streets so they wouldn't freeze to death. But yet and still, you would allow these prisoners in that jail to freeze.
And look, we did ask the Federal Bureau of Prisons for a statement on what happened in 2019. They didn't directly address it, but they said they have an administrative remedy program for incarcerated individuals to seek formal review and redress of almost any concern they have regarding their incarceration. The Bureau of Prisons they say the MDC should be safe, humane, and provide work and other self-improvement opportunities to assist offenders in becoming law-abiding citizens. Does the MDC, in your opinion, live up to what they say their prison should do?
Like I said, because you're in prison and you're serving time or you're waiting, to go to court or to go to trial or whatever it is, does not mean that you're not a human being. Just like what's going on with Diddy, he still deserves to be treated as a human being. He still deserves a fair trial, innocent before proven guilty. Whatever happened to that?
So how do you keep yourself entertained throughout the day? What do you do?
Well, I read books.
Take a look at this strange device that I'm holding in my hand. It's smaller than a quarter, but I believe it's going to power.
And I daydreamed a lot. Like literally just to keep my head on straight.
The reason I say this, y'all, that I feel Diddy probably won't have a fair trial. It's because people are pushing it. People pushing he's guilty. people don't believe beyond reasonable doubt he's innocent. This is something that the Homeland Security picked up. That his RICO indictment became a federal RICO indictment case. That's right. And then you got a lot of YouTubers. A lot of people make good content. Don't get me wrong. Shout out to all my YouTubers out there pushing. A lot of people think he's not getting out, man, and that's what it is, man. You see what you know what I mean. What you know what I mean? They doing now. Now they bring in the 96 of Diddy connection with Pop's death. It's I say it's one thing after another, man. You see what's finna go on.
I prayed a lot.
So we were just hearing from Katana Yehuda about what it's like to stay inside the Metropolitan Detention Center.
See, everybody think that should Diddy get a fair trial? Will he have a fair trial? Will he get a fair trial? Man, look. Most states is based off plea deals, y'all. State won't be wasting time. You know what I mean? There's a lot of things they can do. But for one, what's up, my brother? For one, they don't want to be wasting a lot of time. You know what I mean? Especially going to trial, spending a lot of money, man. You know what I mean? Most states is working on plea negotiations, pleadments. You know what I mean? Hey, don't get me wrong. Diddy had a plea. And sometimes people don't go with their plea. So if Diddy get found convicted, you know, he's going to be sending on a life sentence. But you got to understand that with the justice system, you know, the way it is, look, man, the question, would he get a fair trial? Every man gets, he's going to get a fair trial going in. But beyond a reasonable doubt, beyond a shadow of doubt, man, a lot of people know. A lot of people can tell you that he's not innocent, man. Even the court, man. Come on, man. You go up and you get three bonds and been denied. It's a serious. These are serious allegations, man. You know what I mean? These have been serious allegations found. Let's see what they say.
Andrew Dalek is a New York-based federal public defender, and he's represented lots of clients who've served time there. Andrew, is it really as bad as people say?
Well, first, Anushka, I want to thank you and the BBC for taking any interest in the conditions at MPC Brooklyn, because it is an important issue of significant public interest. Anybody who has a loved one detained in that facility, that they deeply care about their well-being and their safety there, and they have good reason to. It is as bad of a place as people say it is. But
Diddy's first day in the Metropolitan Detention Center was a jarring contrast to the life of luxury he had known for so long. Reports revealed that his inaugural meal was a far cry from the extravagant feasts he was used to: Swedish meatballs, accompanied by sides like green beans, egg noodles, and a garden salad. He could have opted for a black bean burger, but it was the meatballs that went out. Picture this. The man who once hosted million-dollar parties, surrounded by opulence and excess, now confined to a stark cell, eating meals many would deem unappetizing.
Now, he got shook, and I just stood on top of him, grabbed him, and next thing you know, NYPD was there.
Okay, so that situation happened. And then, a bit after that, in Atlanta, Suge's best friend, Big Jake, gets killed in a club. And this part's kind of fuzzy, but there was a rumor that Wolf was the one that did it. Puffy got blamed for it, and so forth. But I guess Wolf wasn't the one who did it, but still there was some sort of blame that Suge had on Bad Boy over that situation, right?
I don't know if Suge had blamed Bad Boy for that, because the situation never came, when I got with him, the situation never came to us like that. Now, I've heard Wolf talk about it, and Wolf told me personally that he didn't do it. And I know everybody knew the guy who did it. It was this dude, he's dead now. He got killed in Atlanta about 2 or 3 years ago. His father was from the Bronx, and he owned the cleaners. Now, did Wolf and them know him? Yeah, they probably knew him. He was from the Bronx, his part of town. His father owned the cleaners. They knew this guy. You understand? Him and Jake was arguing over this chick or whatever. Now, did Wolf do it? How could Wolf do it when he was next to Suge? He was right next to Suge when Jake got killed. But everybody want to say Wolf did it because that glamorized the situation.
Right. Okay.
See how sad that is, man? You see how black people can't live? You see how things start escalating? You see how that escalated? Wolf was known in the Bronx, man. He was a good dude, man. But you see how when it comes to black people, you see how we escalate things. You know, we get things going. It's sad because when they decided to ban TikTok, right? You get a lot of people coming on YouTube talking about TikTok being banned. Anything to stop success. You know, anything to stop the success. You know, black people, period, they don't like to see another black people, you know what I mean, do good. All our life, we been in competition. We don't like to see each other do good. We don't like to see, you know what I mean, each other prosper.
And then after that, Wolf actually reached out to you and asked you to come back to Bad Boy and help out with security.
Well, I told Wolf he had to straighten out his thing with Slick. We met on 125th Street, me, Slick, Rico, and Wolf. Him and Slick talked and everything, and it was cool and everything. So he said, yo, Gene, I need you to come because we need somebody who was in law enforcement legal that could carry a gun and everything to be with us. He said, and if you ran after me, and this was his own words, because I didn't see it and I didn't know it at the time, you know, he said, if you ran after me and I had a gun in my hand, I want you on my team. I said, I don't fuck with Puff like that, bro. He said, from the city college, he said, yo, you're going to have your own contract. You're going to have your own days. All you have to do is listen to me and make sure he's good. I said, all right, man, we'll see. And that's when I went back.
File your taxes 100% free in the app if you didn't use us last year. Just file with TurboTax Do-It-Yourself by February.
Okay, so you joined the security team at Bad Boy with your own contract. Right. And Wolf was already over there, and Big Paul was over there as well.
Paul, yeah.
Paulie. And Paulie was kind of Puffy's everyday guy.
Yeah, Paul was the guy who Puff helped him set up a security company had him set up a security company. So he did the security at the house, the apartment building or whatever, and Sean John, and over at Bad Boy and the studios. So he set up all the security for those places.
Life in the MDC isn't just defined by bland meals. Former Warden Cameron Lindsay offered a chilling look into Diddy's new daily routine. He wakes up at 6 a.m., makes his bed, and scrubs his cell floor. With only 3 showers a week and a mere hour of free time each day, his once glamorous lifestyle has been stripped away, replaced by a monotonous, regimented existence that stands in stark contrast to the life of luxury he once knew.
Personal security as well?
Puff. That's all I did was Puff.
Okay. And I guess every so often, Puffy would put you with Big during certain events and so forth, right?
Well, like if we was on stage or Big was on stage, he felt threatened for Big, I guess. He said, "Yo, Gene, go watch Big." I said, "All right, cool. You with him now?"
Okay, so you doing some work for Big, did the two of you kind of form a relationship?
I think me and Big we formed a relationship on 2 occasions. One, we was in D.C. doing Howard University. He made Puff shut the door down, and the people shut the door down, and it was D-Rock. I think D-Rock's birthday is the 17th, mine is the 16th of October, and he made him shut down the place, and just me and D-Rock could buy like 5 outfits together, then everybody else bought an outfit, and then Big used to just give me all the clothes that he didn't want. Like, you know, you had Nike, Lugs, you had Mecca clothing line. They would bring big boxes to Big everywhere he was at. And then he was like, yo, whatever he didn't want, he'd say, yo, D-Rock, you want this? D-Rock was like, nah, I don't want it. He said, yo, Big Gene, you want it? And then I was like, man, I'll take it and give it to the guys on the block, you know, who was part of our crew or whatever. But the kid was just good like that. And then we had a situation when we were in Atlanta that something was bought, and he thought I was going to lie about it because Puff was trying to say it was his, and it wasn't his. It was Big's. And you understand? And when you say, and they had made a bet that I was going to go on Puff's side. So when I got to the studio, I said, nah, Puff, you had that one, and Big had that one. And that's what it was. And Big looked at me, and you could see a smile on his face like, yo, this nigga's honorable.
Okay. And before all the drama began, did Tupac ever come around? Did you ever see Big and Tupac interact together?
No, I never seen Big and Tupac interact together. I seen Puff and Pac interact together, but I didn't see
really?
Big, yeah.
In what capacity?
Like we was at Roxy. They used to give functions and parties there. And then one time me and Puff walked up in there. It was, this was after Pac got shot and everything like that. And it was Pac and like 4 other guys. And Pac put a cigarette in his mouth. The dude lit the cigarette. I started laughing. I was like, who the fuck like a cigarette for? So then him and Puff talked, and that was it. It was nothing.
Okay, and then the incident happened at Quad Studios.
This was after the incident at Quad, when I seen Pac with Puff.
Oh, really?
Yeah.
Okay. Well, when the situation happened at Quad, Biggie was recording, I think, with Lil Sean. And I think Puffy was there.
As his legal team works relentlessly to secure his release, Diddy spends most of his days in the jail's special housing unit, isolated from the general population for his own safety. Why? Because being a high-profile inmate makes him a target someone others might harm just to earn a twisted badge of honor. In a place where status is everything, his...
You understand, man? It's not easy surviving, man, in prison. Especially when you got a high-profile case. Being allegedly accused of this, that. Someone will get a hold of him. Someone will kill him just to get a reputation, man. That's what you gotta understand, man. When you're in prison, man, it's like, I don't care what people say, man. Cause my dad told me, man, look, man, you in prison, you safe, you're all right, son. At least You're right. I tell you, man, prison is worse as a person staying out in society or in the streets or somewhere. See, you out in the society world, you can live, you can survive, you can have access to things. When you're in prison, just think about it, you don't have access to things. Once you leave out that cell, you don't know who's your enemy. You know, if you got to be about, you know what I mean. When you get in there, you got to be about that blade, man. You got to care. You got to care. When I got locked up in 2008, man. Even when I got 7 years, I know I had an out date. But still, you know, you gonna still take chances having that blade on you. You know what I mean? In case anything liable to happen at any given point, you got that blade on. If you gotta walk up there to the child, I'm telling y'all, man, you gotta walk up to the child. So you gotta walk up to the child, right? You taking gambles. You taking, you know what I mean? You taking chances, man. You know what I mean? Through the grace of God, man. I prayed that I didn't have no disciplinary, you know what I mean, hearing, or you know what I mean. I didn't get caught up, man. But you gotta have a blade on you at all times, man. Just in case anything, you know what I mean, happen. See, they said Diddy had groupies, man. Groupies, man. You know, that's with his charge, man. You know, you got a group. You gotta have something to protect you. I mean, you in there, man. Especially the charge he's being accused of. It's gonna be hard. It's gonna be hard to beat these charges, and you got the you being now you got another additional charge. You're being accused of the '96 death of Pop. It's not looking good. Don't think it's looking good for this. It's not looking good for him, man. I keep telling y'all, man. It's really not looking good. And they said rumors say he's getting sick in there. He's not eating. He's sick. You wanted to transfer. Look,
Fame could make him a dangerous prize.
Millions can't help him, right? And he still did it. Yeah, he still did it. Come on. Well, I mean, I went through the filings and the reports. So what they say, according to the feds, that recorded phone calls made by Diddy showed that he asked family members to reach out to potential victims and witnesses. Also urged them to create narratives to influence the jury pool. Also encouraged them to make marketing strategies to sway the public opinion. Diddy used the telephone accounts of at least 8 different inmates to avoid monitoring. He paid the inmates through intermediaries in violation of the rules, like you said. And he also was using 3-way calls and getting people on the phone, which is illegal. So basically what they said, the defendant has shown repeatedly, even while in custody, that he will flagrantly and repeatedly flout rules in order to improperly impact the outcome of the case. The defendant has shown, in other words, that he cannot be trusted to abide by rules or conditions. And I guess they actually found a note that inferred that he wants to blackmail victims and witnesses into silence by providing testimony, or into providing testimony that's actually helpful to his defense. So I guess what I'm wondering is, he does realize all this is being taped. You're using someone else's, privileges, but they're watching everything.
Look, man. Tell y'all something. There was someone that made. He asked me. He paid me though. Let me get it. You know what I mean? Let me get a 3-way call, man. You know what I mean? I'll pay you, man. And he kept getting a 3-way call, and you know what I mean? He's not knowing the phone's being, you know what I mean? It's being recorded, it's being monitored, and you know what I mean? He's not knowing this, man. Every day or every other day, see me, let me get that 3-way call, man. I got you. Bless me, do me some stuff, some food. I collect. If you have the time, hey man, we get a 3-way call. Get to do a 3-way call. And he's just rapping, just telling. He's not knowing he's being recorded. See, that's the same. That's the same with Diddy and Diddy's situation. He's not knowing he's being recorded and monitored. That's because you use another phone. All the phones being recorded. All the phones is monitored. He's not thinking. He's not knowing. So you see, when you're a first timer, you're not knowing a lot of things and what goes on. People every day, man. People every day incriminate themselves, man. Every day. Every day you see someone incriminate himself. Look, man. All this is being said, man. They can use this against Diddy.
Okay, a three-way call is being recorded. So, my takeaway was much different from that. My takeaway was, I'm gonna wait for the government to file the superseding indictment, which we all believe is coming, because right now it looks a little thin, and it looks a little pathetic. I'll be honest with you. Because yes, it's great to make Diddy look like this maniacal mob boss, which of course he's using the influence of his money. But does anyone again? It's good for the person who never ever dealt with someone in jail. How many inmates, and Vlad, no names here, how many inmates do you know that do three-way call? They all do it. Yeah. They all do it. I talk to inmates and it's on cell phones while locked up in Rikers. Exactly. And not going to say who. And no one is saying, yo, Vlad, this is to influence my case. Sometimes they just call me like, yo, what's the word out there, man? Everything good? Like, yeah, yo, nah, I'm going to come home soon. It's all good. Blah. Sometimes it's never. So that I thought was a little bit thin. Obviously, they're trying to keep him in jail. Him putting money on other people's books. Yeah, he's a rich guy. He wants to have his privileges, right? Now, this whole thing of him trying to blackmail people, and I hate to even, because some people are going to be like, oh, no, he's getting Diddy's back. No, I'm defending someone who is, and this could be anybody, who's locked up and using whatever he can to his advantage to try to.
But here's where the story plunges even deeper into the shadows. Whispers from within the prison walls suggest that Diddy may have contracted a fatal disease during his time at MDC.
Amazon hates this, but there's nothing they can do to stop it. There's a new electric lighter out there, and it's got the firepower of a military-grade flame.
The details remain shrouded in mystery, but revelations from prison doctors have sent shockwaves through those close to him. Could the unsanitary, hazardous conditions of the facility have played a sinister role in his potential illness? The chilling possibility that the very place meant to contain him could be slowly destroying him is a fear that can't be ignored.
An exclusive update on the federal case against rapper Sean Diddy Combs. NBC News has learned that a federal grand jury in the Southern District of New York is expected to hear new testimony today.
Combs' legal team did not immediately respond to a request for comment. Combs has pleaded not guilty to charges of racketeering, sex trafficking, and transportation to engage in prostitution. He's being held at Brooklyn's Metropolitan Detention Center.
NBC News entertainment correspondent Chloe Malas joins us with more on her reporting here. Chloe, good morning. Good to have you with us. So what can you tell us about the testimony expected today?
So NBC News actually spoke to the attorney for this male who's going to be testifying this afternoon around 3 p.m. in front of a grand jury. Her name is Ariel Mitchell. She has represented other civil accusers. And this is incredibly significant because I was at the last hearing for Combs in downtown Manhattan, and I listened to Emily Johnson, one of the U.S. attorneys, one of the prosecutors who is trying this case, say that there might be another indictment. So this just goes to show you that federal prosecutors, that criminal investigation is ongoing. Now, it's unclear what this man will be saying. Remember, grand juries are secret. You're not supposed to know the date and when the grand juries are convening, but obviously we have this.
What? Is she saying there might be another indictment? Oh, man. Oh, man. Just before you think things are just getting started. Yeah, I'm telling y'all, man. There's going to be another indictment. After that, there's going to be another case. Look. Diddy's falling. Diddy and his whole empire is falling, man. Bad boys. See, when you said we ain't going nowhere because we can't be stopped now because it's bad boy for life. Look, man, look, I don't wish nothing bad, man. It's you know what I mean. It's jail for life, man. Because it's this here where he's being allegedly accused of. Nah, it's not bad boy for life. It's jail for life. See, we ain't going nowhere because we can't be stopped now. It's bad boy for life. We ain't going nowhere. Look, it's jail for life.
Great reporting, and we know that a male is going to be testifying this afternoon, and it's unclear if there will be more charges coming. And like you said, Diddy's legal team, they haven't responded because they can't comment on grand jury proceedings, and the U.S. Attorney's Office hasn't said anything either.
So that's the latest on the criminal side. There's also some civil issues here. Combs faces more than a dozen civil lawsuits. The most recent was filed on Monday. Only one has been settled so far. What's the timeline looking like for these civil cases?
So he has been coming out denying all the accusations against him, both criminal and civil, and he has been fighting them. As we know, he settled with Cassandra Cassie Ventura, his ex-girlfriend, last year for an undisclosed amount of money that was reported to be in the tens of millions of dollars. But I do want to point out something that's really interesting. Last night, a ruling came down from a U.S. district judge in New York stating that one of the civil accusers, a woman who remains anonymous, she goes by Jane Doe, in this civil suit filed by Tony Busby. He's the attorney out of Texas that has filed several lawsuits against Diddy. The judge ruled that this woman had to reveal her identity, or in a few weeks, she's actually going to dismiss this entire case. And this is incredibly significant because could that mean that other civil accusers will face the same fate and have to come forward? The judge said that the idea that she needed to remain anonymous because she was afraid of Combs potentially hurting her or threatening her seemed unlikely because he's currently behind bars awaiting trial. They also said that, yes, in the ruling, the judge said, yes, it's humiliating. It's hard to come forward and to put your name out there, but that does not outweigh the reasons for you having to come forward and put your name to it. So we've reached out to Combs' legal team for comment. This is a win for them. They haven't said anything. I've also reached out to Tony Busby, who filed this suit, and he was the one that filed those new lawsuits, Joe, on Monday. So again, it'll be interesting to see if this affects these civil cases. And again, Combs is expected to go to trial on May 5th. So it's going to be interesting to see, though, if things are going to get pushed back, or could this extend the length of the trial if there is another criminal indictment? Yeah, and that's that criminal trial. You do think that will stay on track for May? So according to both sides, they believe that this is going to take place on May 5th. But if there are more criminal charges, it could mean that about a 2.5, 3 week trial could extend to even longer. So you could see this going on for quite some time. All right, Chloe, thank you so much.
But here's where the story takes an even darker twist. Whispers circulating within the prison suggest that Diddy may have contracted a fatal illness, possibly the result of crushing stress, severe malnutrition, or even foul play. While no official confirmation has been made, the mere rumors have set off alarm bells, sending shockwaves through his fan base and beyond. The possibility that something more sinister is at work, beyond just the harsh prison conditions, adds a chilling layer of uncertainty to his already nightmarish situation.
$48 million Miami mansion to hell on earth where chaos reigns. Just some of the words used to describe the Metropolitan Detention Center where Sean Diddy Combs is now being held without bail after pleading not guilty to sex trafficking and racketeering charges.
Combs abused, threatened, and coerced victims to fulfill his sexual desires, protect his reputation, and conceal his conduct.
He is not the first high-profile inmate to pass through these walls. Ghislaine Maxwell, R. Kelly, Pharma Bro, Martin Shkreli, and crypto fraudster Sam Bankman-Fried, all as they wait for their federal criminal trials, call this jail home. But the conditions of the prison are far from homey, notoriously described as, quote, dreadful, as one judge.
Look, 70 people, get found convicted. 70 people, listen to me, get found convicted by taking their case to trial. It's true. It's true, y'all. Yes, so Diddy, most likely is going to get found guilty. But look, there's no pardons coming. See this sign right there? Dreadful.
Judge put it. Some of the bench have even moved away from sending nonviolent defendants there. In April, a group of detainees that prosecutors said were MS-13 gang members in court documents stabbed an inmate 44 times in an attack caught on camera. 2 shivs were recovered from the attack. You see them here. The victim survived. And in the last 3 years alone, 4 inmates have died by suicide. And violence is not the only issue. Accusations of medical neglect, staffing shortages, smuggling of drugs, some allegedly facilitated by employees. At least 6 staff members charged with crimes in the last 5 years, according to the AP. Some accused of accepting bribes and providing contraband.
I've had clients describe NBC as hell, as the worst conditions they've been in.
Lance A. Clark is a federal defense attorney who's been there many times.
Now, the government is going to mandate that they are responsible for your well-being. They have to ensure the safety of your well-being.
Until they get me.
In the winter of 2019, protests over a power outage left inmates without light or heat for a week in the cold.
I understand how cold it must be in those cells, and not to have any electricity, any lights, and to not be able to communicate with your family is just inhumane.
The prison has about 1,200 detainees and is the only federal prison in the nation's largest city. The DOJ shut down New York City's other federal jail, the Metropolitan Correctional Center, back in 2021, 2 years after Jeffrey Epstein died by suicide there. A Bureau of Prison...
Adding even more fuel to the fire are the shocking allegations now surrounding him. Diddy, once hailed as a pioneer in the music industry, is now facing accusations of heinous crimes, ranging from trafficking individuals for prostitution to being involved in, insert asterisks for word, trafficking. The man who once redefined the world of hip-hop and luxury is now at the center of a scandal so dark, it threatens to tear apart everything he's built. As these accusations swirl, the once untouchable mogul finds himself facing a storm unlike anything he's ever encountered.
NBC has historically had tremendous problems, and problems aren't resolved.
Combs' lawyers originally hoping he could await trial under house arrest at his mansion, now arguing for him to be moved to a prison in New Jersey in the lead-up to this trial, citing the prison's poor conditions, violence, and deaths. On Wednesday, his lawyer said he is being held in a special housing unit with an extra level of security.
Now, so what is next? Is he going to be in jail in this facility until the trial begins? Is there a chance he could, get moved earlier than that? As of this moment, as of this hour, as of today, yes. But of course, as I mentioned earlier, they're going to be appealing this thing next to the Second U.S. Circuit Court of Appeals to overturn the judge's order here to try and get him actually released to his mansion on $50 million bail, wanting a GPS monitoring system, limited visits from family members, friends, so on and so forth. That is what they're proposing because of course, the violence I talked about in that piece inside these jail walls. They also, in the meantime, want to get him moved to a jail and or prison in New Jersey. The judge so far has essentially said that it's up to the Bureau of Prisons to make that decision. Nonetheless, it's all going to be on appeals leading up to the trial. His next court appearance, by the way, October 9th. So looking for that, of course, and any decisions coming out from the Second U.S. Circuit Court of Appeals on this order.
These charges have cast a long, shadowy veil over a man whose public persona was once built on charm and charisma. The once celebrated mogul is now painted as a figure of suspicion and scandal. And let's not overlook the damning text messages allegedly sent to his ex-girlfriend, Cassie Ventura. Messages that have only fueled the fire. Deepening the scrutiny surrounding him. With every new revelation, the man who seemed untouchable is being slowly unraveled, and his empire is now teetering on the edge of collapse.
Mogul Sean Diddy Combs will try for the third time to get bail today while he awaits trial on sex trafficking racketeering charges. Scripps News national correspondent Alex Miller is live in New York City where this hearing happened earlier today. Alex, there was already a hearing earlier this week looking at notes taken out of Sean Combs' cell. How could that impact his chances of bail? His team says that raiding a cell, monitoring his calls, is not allowed and not fair to allow him to prep for a trial.
You know, it'll be interesting to see if this ends up happening. We just got out of this hearing nearly 2 hours long, and they only talked about these notes at the very beginning. They discussed essentially whether or not they said the word legal on them, and there was a bit of a discrepancy from the defense. Essentially, they backtracked on this even just a little bit. Essentially, he has these binders, legal pads that, according to the photographs from the raid on his cell, did not say the word legal. All of a sudden, now they do, and the defense couldn't exactly say when the word legal was written, and that matters because if it said legal on any of these notes, that is part of attorney-client privilege. Those are things that should not have been taken out of his cell. So there is a big question about that. But Nate, the bigger issue here now is he going to get out? As of tonight, he is still going back to his jail cell, but next week we will know whether or not he is going to be able to get out until his trial. So the big discussion here, according to the government, is can they trust him? He has proposed a whole laundry list of things that he's willing to do if they'll let him out. Things like 24/7 security, things like not speaking to anybody, not having internet access, phone access, unless it's through this 24/7 security company. But the government and pretrial services, who is separate from the prosecution, they're not buying it. They're saying that they cannot trust Sean Combs to not follow the law or to not follow the rules that he has even set out for himself. They say because he's already broken the rules that the department, the Bureau of Prisons, and his own counsel have laid out for him within a jail cell. So they're essentially saying if he can't do it there, how could he do it in the comfort of an apartment? They had tried to get him released to Star Island, his home on Star Island right in Miami, because it's an island and there's a dock there. The judge immediately said absolutely not, because in theory he could.
This is the quickest way to clear out stuck poop.
Fiber helps you poop, right? Nope. What about drinking lots of water? Nope.
You've probably seen this guy talking about constipation before.
Do this to clear out stuck poop fast.
He seems to know what he's talking about.
Kind of surprised.
Escape that way.
The irony of Diddy's situation is almost poetic. A man who once had the world at his feet, adored and admired by millions, now spends his days confined to a cold cell, battling not only legal troubles, but possibly a life-threatening illness. His dramatic downfall serves as a stark reminder that no amount of money, power, or influence can shield someone from the devastating consequences of their actions. What once seemed like invincibility is now a haunting testament to the fragility of success.
Been denied bail in connection with the sexual abuse and sex trafficking charges he faces. And as Les Trent reports, the music mogul who once traveled by private jet to all those mansions is now in a jail that is notorious for its bad living conditions.
Music mogul Sean Diddy Combs spent his first night behind bars inside a facility that is being called Hell on Earth. The Metropolitan Detention Center in Brooklyn is notorious for its appalling living conditions and rampant violence. How bad is it inside this federal lockup? There have been 2 murders, 4 suicides, and numerous stabbings and lockdowns in recent years. It's so out of control inside that 4 federal judges are reportedly refusing to send any more prisoners here. Donald Trump's former fixer, Michael Cohen, spent a harrowing year in federal custody. He says for someone used to a life of luxury like Diddy, prison life is a severe shock.
You have a desk, you have a plastic chair, you have your bed with a 1.5-inch mattress, no pillow, and you also have a locker. So you basically have 3 feet by 5 feet to move around. So you have a basic 15 square feet. It is a horrible, horrible place.
Diddy's lawyers were so eager to keep him out of jail, they offered his palatial $48 million home in Miami.
Look, man. You see how much money that is? $48 million. Collateral. The courts didn't want that, man. If you go into my last videos, they want a conviction. They don't want no collateral. They don't want they don't want that. They don't want that. Nah, they got it. This what you gotta understand. This is deep to what you think. This is deep what you think. Y'all make sure, man. You know what I mean? Cause YouTube is probably gonna get me where I can do cash apps on here, but you know, like I said, this is my first time. You know what I mean? Being a member, being a partner with YouTube. Big shout out to you. You know what I mean? But yeah, let's get to this. $48 million that, you know, Diddy is offering, man. You see the courts turn that down, man. That's this. He was denied 3 times, man. It's no money that these courts want, man. These people got a conviction. And this shows this should show you guys a lot, man. If you black man here, man, that's the culture. It's the black culture, man. The hip hop culture. When they want to come for you, they coming. See, money don't concern them. If they came with Homeland Security, it was something big, man. They came in and discovered 1,000 baby oils. Diddy in his house, they found 1,000 baby oils inside. Come on, laptops. There's something deep. And that let him out. Something deep, y'all.
Miami Beach and his private jets as bail. Today, they are even offering to restrict female visitors to his daughters and the mothers of his children if he is released. They told the judge the jail he was being sent to is dreadful, dirty, inhuman, and an ongoing tragedy.
How's your dad doing? How's your dad doing?
Family members appeared somber as they arrived at federal court in Manhattan today in another attempt to get out on bail. The judge cited Diddy's history of violent temper and potential intimidation of witnesses as reasons for keeping him behind.
Look, man. Let me show y'all that. That was Christian Combs, and that's one of their half brothers. You know what I mean? Look, they being in charge. They said they was in charge of the freak offs. Diddy's not. You'll think that Diddy's, man, come on, Diddy's behavior, man. Look, man, tie him up, man. Tie him up, man. He's not gonna be, you know what I mean? Someone at some point, you gotta take the fall. You gotta take that. You got to take that. You know what I mean? It's called responsibilities, man. You got to take the responsibilities, man. Now you can draw. Now you drag and draw your kids. You know what I mean? In it, like it's sick, man. This is a sick man, man. It's sick, man. You didn't drag your kids into this. Come on, man. I guess Diddy know his time was coming, man. He'll drag his kids into it. The only way these kids can come out if they really telling their dad. That's the only way that see that's the only deal they gonna have. If you could tell that because that can break a case, man. His kids to be a prosecution star witness, man. See what they in similar to Diddy, man. You know what I mean? But they ain't got the charges that Diddy got that you see. But look, man, these kids never did time in jail, man. They never knew what it was like in jail. They never got to taste. They never got to taste it. And you think Diddy being the mastermind of it all, right? You'll be like, well, this ain't got nothing to do with my kids, man. Why? You know what I mean? Like, but he'll put himself in a whole enough trouble than what he's in. But this should not have nothing to do with his kids, man. How their behavior is it? How the behavior of Diddy's kids have been, man. Means that he never really had a father that raised him, man. You know what I mean? For you to be a young man, a kid at some point in your life, man, you watch your father get murdered, and your mom had to raise you, man. That should have some kind of motivation of how want to be a father to your kids. Not letting your kids run out and do whatever they want to do, not follow your path. He blamed his own mother for his downfall. This dude, Diddy, man, he blamed his own mother for his downfall, and that's why I feel that should no one have sympathy for him, man. See, if you knew better, you do better. You see, if you knew better, you do better.
Bars. Diddy's former protege, singer Aubrey O'Day, is celebrating Diddy's downfall today. I feel validated. A win for women all over the world.
And I'm telling you, you will definitely see deposits. You will definitely get checks.
I was skeptical in the beginning too, but
Combs has pled not guilty. Those were the only words he uttered in court yesterday.
And then there's the question of his legacy. How will this chapter of his life affect the way the world remembers him?
Diddy is now being accused of obstructing justice.
Diddy running the jail, man. Running the spot.
Right. According to you, the inmates are fighting over making his bed.
Yep. Well, really, according to Lisa Evers, I want to give her credit. Lisa Evers does an amazing job covering all things, within the New York metropolitan area. She interviewed an inmate that spent some time at NBC Brooklyn alongside me. And, remember, we're all thinking that Diddy's like in super isolation, doesn't talk to no inmates. We later find out via even court filings by the government, he does. And this one inmate looked like he's not wrong because he says, hey, listen, Diddy's such a big player in the game in terms of, his power and he's that guy even in jail. Dudes are getting jealous at other dudes based on who made his bed. And I'm like, yo.
So that's a real thing? People are actually making his bed?
Yeah.
I thought you were just joking.
Listen, there's an inmate that said it. There's an inmate that said it, that Lisa Evers.
Excuse me. You hear that, man? It's all right, man. With academics saying, man. See, we in jail, man. We in celebrity, man. Anytime you're a celebrity, you gotta remember, you gain status. You got recognition. You got the respect. And soon he went in there, man. He had male groupies ready to make his bed, ready to clean his room, it's the same as you was out in the world. But yeah, they all that fame still it still comes, man. Until you broke. But look, man, yeah, he had male groupies. But you gotta really think: are these people ready to do his bidding in there? You see, because at some point, man, they're gonna transfer Diddy, and he's gonna go to some population. He ain't gonna be able to go to he ain't gonna be able to go to GP. They don't allow sex offenders. I'm quite sure he'll go somewhere way out where he could probably do his time. You know, but enough said about that. We're gonna roll this clip here, man. We're gonna see what DJ Academic have to say here, man. Like, man, this is for real, man. You in there, you a celebrity. Yeah, you got male groupies, man. You got male groupies do your bidding, and yeah.
Words for Fox. Well, I know Lisa. I've done her show before. Of course. So that's what that inmate said. And I think some people wanted to call it cap till we realized that, the filing that came out on Friday or Thursday by the government, which is a response to Diddy's new motion for bail, essentially said Diddy is using like 8 other inmates, like personal access codes to call everybody he wants. Exactly. It's like, add this person to the call, add this person. Like he's running the jail. So these inmates, I completely believe, and by the way, this is how the government pays it. He's getting them paid directly through what they call these cash processing systems. Yeah. So probably tells his people, send her $1,000. Send his mom, send his girl, cool. And then the inmate in there with him is like, we gonna have your commissary filled. You're gonna move around like a king like me. So I get why this is happening, and the only thing I look at is like, why did people believe or think anything otherwise? Like, you think you're gonna normalize a billionaire that could have any type? Like, if Diddy walked in a room and this guy's of significant money, power, and even respect, despite whatever happened, and y'all are all in jail, you're not gonna be like, bro, he usually don't gotta bring his tray over there to throw it away. I'll do it. So I wanna be cool with him. I got my people outside. Like, shit, I have a public defender. This guy is spending $2.some million a month on lawyers. He could throw me, even if he throws me $2,500. Hey, nobody can touch Diddy in here. Matter of fact, I'm gonna act like I could be the most bitch made dude. Hey, I'm just letting y'all know, anybody want to get to him, y'all gotta go through me. I'll take the ass over for it. So this kind of sounds normal. However, I think people thought Diddy was done.
Hey guys, my name is Harris Heller, and I've been a full-time YouTuber for over 10 years now. And if you are a YouTuber or you're...
The next thing is, man, Craig Mack was the one that jumped Bad Boy off. And they bad that Craig Mack, who died from AIDS, that man, he got brainwashed so bad from Diddy and got done so wrong. The man went to South Carolina and joined a cult with his family until he died.
Were because
AIDS a few years ago.
Diddy had a court hearing or a court appearance
And a lot of the headlines were, because, there's no cameras in there, but the journalists that were in there said that when Diddy came out, that he was drastically showing weight loss and drastically looking a lot more gray and tired. I wanted to see if you had any thoughts on that, on his appearance, and if you had any thoughts on the court hearing itself.
Well, the weight loss, okay, yeah. You don't eat like you eat. He ain't drinking like he been drinking. That nigga was popping bottles. It's a lot of sugar.
You hear that? You hear that? He losing massive weight. See, he's popping bottles while he was out. He was eating right. But now you were in there. See that the whole thing of it is, where they didn't never say and told y'all that he been living with HIV and AIDS. So when you're in the house, you got something that you can cure it. See, people can live with HIV and AIDS, but if you're in a solitary confinement place, you can't cure nothing like that. You know what I mean? You got to go what you can go with. You got to eat the way they're going to feed you that day. And, you're not going to be able to have access to eat what you want to eat. So you got to understand, what they saying. They saying that he been losing a lot of weight, he was losing massive weight. You know what I mean? He's not eating properly. You know what I mean? And, a lot of people think that, yeah, Diddy got that stuff, man. And he's looking like a lot of people say it look like he's dying. They say he's looking sick. I hate to use that kind of term. I'm trying to, use the right term for it. Not to have to use that term, but they say he's getting sick real bad, y'all.
Definitely ain't eating like he is and stressing. They don't feel dark and lovely in there, y'all. Niggas can't get that shit dark and lovely.
Diddy's time behind bars just took a wild and shocking turn. According to new reports, a prison doctor has allegedly confirmed that Diddy may have caught a deadly disease while locked up, and the details are leaving folks speechless. From his lavish lifestyle to facing these harsh conditions, it's looking like the tables have seriously turned for Diddy. So, what's really going on behind those prison walls, and how did things get this bad? Well, a lot of people have come out claiming that Diddy lost a crazy amount of weight, not just because of that prison food or him skipping meals, but because he's reportedly dealing with an acute STD while locked up. You probably know that Diddy has been sitting in jail for a few months waiting on his trial that's set for May 2025.
Now he appeared just astonishingly thinner, which you can expect to be inside a federal detention center for a couple months now. A lot different from the luxury lifestyle that he was living before, but he appeared very noticeably thinner, and maybe being locked up in detention is starting to wear on him. He appeared grayer a little bit as well too, but again, he appeared just like how you would expect Diddy to appear for a hearing. To now he appeared just astonishingly thinner, which you can expect to be inside a federal detention center for a couple months now. A lot different from the luxury lifestyle that he was living before, but he appeared very noticeably thinner, and maybe being locked up in detention is starting to wear on him. He appeared grayer a little bit as well too, but again, he appeared just like how you would expect Diddy to appear for a hearing.
But here's where things get wild. We've all heard the stories about Diddy's lifestyle, how it wasn't just about women, but also involved male escorts and down-low activities. Well, the word is, he might have kept that same energy behind bars. Apparently, Diddy's got himself a little crew of male fans in jail. These guys are riding for him so hard, they're even making his bed for him. But that's not even the craziest part. Things between Diddy and these dudes have gone way beyond just folding sheets, if you know what I mean. And let's be real, access to protection in prison is a whole other issue, which brings us to the real news, and that's the allegations that Diddy might have contracted a deadly disease while in jail. And just when you think it couldn't get messier, Jaguar Wright jumped in to co-sign the rumors. In her usual no-filter style, she spilled some serious tea during a recent interview. She said Diddy has allegedly been dealing with HIV, and even claimed she could name at least 20 other men in similar situations. Jaguar hinted this whole thing is way bigger than just Diddy, but didn't drop any names yet. She's saving all the details for her upcoming show. But let's rewind for a sec. So Diddy got arrested back on September 16th, 2024 on some heavy charges like SA, by force, fraud, or coercion, conspiracy, and transportation for you-know-what.
Now the Sean Diddy Combs investigation. New surveillance video shows Combs being taken into custody in a Manhattan hotel last week. Our senior investigative correspondent, Aaron Kotursky, is at the scene of his arrest. Good morning, Aaron.
Good morning to you, Robin. This is the hotel where Sean Combs was arrested a week ago. You can now see how that arrest went down. This morning, watch how federal agents took Sean Diddy Combs into custody. He's seen in this video entering the Park Hyatt Hotel in Midtown Manhattan with others when agents from Homeland Security Investigations approach and separate him. They place Combs under arrest and lead him out the front door in handcuffs. His lawyer said Combs had come to New York 2 weeks earlier with the intention of turning himself in. He did not expect the agents to be waiting at his hotel last Monday night.
Since that day, Jaguar has been coming for him like crazy. In October, during an interview with Piers Morgan, Jaguar went all in, calling Diddy one of the most dangerous people she's ever dealt with.
How dangerous do you think?
Thank God.
How dangerous do you think he is as a person?
I think he's one of the most dangerous people I've ever met. A lot of people have been questioning, well, she doesn't really know him. She has no knowledge of him. She doesn't have a picture with him. I'm smarter than Claudia Jordan. I would never take a picture with the devil.
How dangerous do you think he is? Yep, she straight up labeled him the devil.
Look, man, Jaguar, you gotta understand something. With Jaguar Wright was a magician, man, in the industry, man. So she knows how it runs. She's seen Hollywood with her own eyes, man. She's better than no woman that she just named, man. Like, common sense, man. She would never shake the hand with the devil, man. Never. Never. Especially when the devil give you the keys to Hollywood, man. Diddy was the man in Hollywood, man. He was a man on the hour, man. I'm telling you, when I say he was the man, he was the man. You know what I mean? Just think how much he seducted. He seducted a lot of people, man. Got a lot of people to go to these parties. It was a business, man. You know what I mean? You hear what Fat Joe said. You know what I mean? Diddy is one of the best business, you know what I mean, entrepreneurs that he ever, you know what I mean, met. You know? So you can't make this stuff up, y'all. Diddy was an icon. He was a magician. He was good at what he done, man. Come on, man. If you know this as a good magician, entrepreneur, man, you know you can, you know what I mean, bring business into your home, man. Come on, man. But you see what led him, though. You see what people, you got bride kids. You see how kids was pulled into. Kids was raped, pulled into this industry crap, promised careers. You see what it led, though. Because when you're in the industry, we gotta remember, man. It's a work for the devil. And Diddy, his work was the devil. You know, these people are the gatekeepers, man. These people hold the devil's bid.
Devil. She also claimed Diddy's whole career was crafted by powerful industry figures to control the culture and keep the music industry running smoothly, basically painting him as some sort of demon for their benefit. Jaguar even said she's been warning folks about him and Jay-Z for years, describing them both as monsters whose act labeled him the devil. She also claimed Diddy's whole career was crafted by powerful industry figures to control the culture and keep the music industry running smoothly, basically painting him as some sort of demon for their benefit. Jaguar even said she's been warning folks about him and Jay-Z for years, describing them both as monsters whose actions were ignored until now. Now here's where things get even messier. Recent reports are saying Diddy is flat out refusing to leave his cell at the Metropolitan Detention Center in Brooklyn.
P. Diddy ringing in the new year with a jailhouse meltdown, at least according to some new reports. All this comes as the disgraced singer spent his first holiday season behind bars, and a judge rules one of his accusers can remain anonymous. By now you're well aware that 55-year-old Sean Combs, also known as P. Diddy, is being held at the Metropolitan Detention Center in Brooklyn. He's facing federal charges of conspiracy by force and transportation to engage in prostitution.
This refusal is messing up all kinds of legal proceedings, including the multiple SA lawsuits he's caught up in. In fact, Tony Busby's assistant spilled in a letter that Diddy's refusal to cooperate is causing delays in everything from serving legal papers to scheduling and managing these cases. The letter even said they're trying to get a conference rescheduled because Diddy won't leave his cell to accept service, like, at all. Now, why might he be doing this? Some folks are saying it could be tied to his alleged health issues. If those rumors about HIV are true, it's possible Diddy's struggling with the physical effects of the disease and doesn't want to be seen in public right now. Makes sense, right? But it could also be because of paranoia. Apparently his paranoia is at an all-time high. Word on the street is he's so terrified of being poisoned that he's straight up refusing to eat some of his meals.
And the other advice I would tell him, maybe he should get on the Jewish diet. Because the kosher meals is way better than the food somebody else is making for you. At least they're going to come hot, they're going to come sealed, and you got to be the one to open them. That's very important.
And honestly, when you think about all the allegations floating around about Diddy allegedly pulling shady moves, like poisoning people to cause pneumonia-like symptoms, it kind of makes sense why he'd be worried someone might turn the tables on him now. But it ain't so far-fetched, and some people who've seen jail themselves have told us about it too. A former inmate, Larry Levine, said that Diddy's fear of being poisoned ain't that crazy at all. Diddy even had the audacity to demand his own personal nutritionist in jail.
Diddy's eating.
Well, I got an inside source there at MDC, and if they knew who it was, they'd really plot. When people go into custody, they have anxiety, they're depressed, a lot of things go through their mind, and one of the things they do is they stop eating. Look what happened to Jeff Epstein. I got people every day saying, you think they're going to Epstein him? And I go, well, I really don't know. Imagine if someone paid someone off on the inside to actually poison his food, give him a heart attack, and he dies. And no one would really think anything of it. So that may be one of the reasons he's not eating. There's a possibility that he wants to go on a kosher diet. It's prepared a little bit differently. It's a religious diet.
He wanted someone to come in and help him get back in shape after prison life started taking a toll on him, but the prison system wasn't having it. Now here's where things get even more interesting. Diddy has also been refusing to leave his cell, and people are wondering if this is all part of some bigger plan. Is he just trying to stay out of the public eye because of the alleged physical effects of his health issues, or is he using it as a way to dodge even more lawsuits? Some folks think it's a stalling tactic to keep the legal system at bay. The internet had thoughts about this, as always. One person straight up said, "Don't let him die. I want to see him in court to face his dirty actions." And some people think it's only natural that all of these things are happening to him right now. Can't blame Diddy for crying in his cell when he's fallen from so high to so low, especially knowing the weight of not only his legal issues, but knowing some big PPL are out to get him. But even though he might be in danger, Diddy is still his old self. Why? Well, let's just say that the drama behind bars at Brooklyn's Metropolitan Detention Center is giving prime-time reality show vibes. Diddy is now all pissy because Luigi Mangione is stealing the spotlight inside prison walls. The inmates are showing Mangione love, and Diddy, who's used to being the main character everywhere he goes, is not handling it well. According to sources, Diddy's throwing tantrums because Luigi is being treated like some kind of folk hero. A source close to the situation even said, Diddy's ego is still bigger than life. Which, are we surprised? However, Diddy's spokesperson is calling all this jealousy talk false. Now, Luigi is in solitary confinement, so he and Diddy haven't even crossed paths, but apparently the inmates can't stop talking about Luigi's backstory. He's loved for sharing his struggles with back pain and the perceived injustices of the healthcare system, a hot topic among prisoners, especially considering the jail itself has a reputation for inadequate healthcare. Luigi's also gaining attention for his boldness for taking out the CEO, which has galvanized some critics of the healthcare industry. Oh, and here's the real deal. Mangione knows about his rising fan base. Sources say he's choked up by the support, and it's given him confidence. Like, people are calling him a hero and even lusting over him, and he's here for it. Meanwhile, Diddy is still stuck in general population, reportedly feeling like his star power isn't enough to win over the inmates. For someone who's always been larger than life, this must be a humbling experience. Let's not forget, Brooklyn's MDC isn't new to housing controversial figures. It's the same place Jeffrey Epstein died, and where Sam Bankman-Fried is currently locked up. So Diddy's dealing with a lot: competition for attention, legal battles, and the harsh reality that prison doesn't care about your resume. So what's your take? Do you think Diddy's paranoia and behavior are because of his alleged health struggles, or is this just him playing games to avoid facing the music? Could Jaguar rights claims actually be exposing the truth, or is this just another wild rumor? Let us know about it down below.
There you have it, y'all. We out. Till the next time. We out.